Food tastes better when you eat clean. My father always had a garden. To this day, I avoid tomatoes unless they have come out of a garden. Those reddish-orange globes, they grow hydroponically? Just don't have the flavor of the fresh tomatoes I so enjoy. Clean eating follows the natural course of the year. Since you're eating your food fresh, you'll be buying food when it's in season. This will introduce variety into your diet while ensuring you get the freshest of foods. Eating the foods that do not slow down your body's functioning tends to help you live longer. There is no guarantee, but eating fresh vegetables and fruits, using meats that are not laden with antibiotics, can help your body perform at peak capacity and may add years to your life. Clean eating also boosts mental functioning. Your mind works faster and clearer with natural nutrients, especially omega-3 fatty acids. Highly processed foods and sugar-laden treats can really bog down the brain. So give yourself the best. Eat clean. At the same time, you'll boost your local economy by purchasing fresh produce, meats, and dairy from local farms. You help out small business people and strengthen the community where you live. Identifying clean foods. Since most of the foods we eat, except for organic fresh fruits and vegetables, have been infused with certain chemicals to give that food a longer shelf life at the stores, it's best to avoid them if possible. Being smart with clean eating also means you should be reading ingredients lists to make sure that they are not full of unhealthy things. Generally, the shorter the ingredient list, the closer your food is to its natural state. If you see ingredients you can't pronounce, you may want to look for something more natural. Since ingredients are listed with the largest amounts first, the lower down those unpronounceable items are on the list, the better. If vitamins or minerals are added to the food, it's considered processed. However, this processing is probably less dangerous than other things that could be added. Removing the germ and bran from whole grains when making bread is another form of processing, but it's not as dangerous as the chemicals added to lengthen a product's shelf life. Since it's so difficult to find foods in a purely natural state, clean eating does accept minimal processing. This means it's okay to cook foods, but when you can, you'll want to opt for fresh tomatoes that you cut up and crush yourself instead of opening a can of crushed tomatoes. Rule of thumb: the fewer ingredients in any packaged food, the cleaner it will be. The do's and don'ts of clean eating. 1. Do eat fresh fruits and vegetables straight from the garden if possible. Frozen fruits and vegetables are acceptable in the off-season. 2. Do prefer organic produce when possible. 3. Avoid genetically modified or GMO meats, fruits, and vegetables. 4. Cook using products like quinoa, wild rice, and oats. The product should be the first ingredient listed on the package. 5. Prefer whole grain breads and pastas. 6. Prefer minimally processed foods. 7. Get your proteins from sources other than meat when possible. Nuts, legumes, and some vegetables are great, clean sources of protein. 8. Avoid highly processed foods like cheese food and bleached flour. 9. Avoid foods with long ingredient lists. 10. Avoid refined, white and brown sugar and ingredients that end in OSE. 11. Avoid foods that have been heavily processed and especially try to avoid artificial coloring. 12. Do eat minimal amounts of honey and natural sweeteners, for example, stevia. 13. Avoid excessive sodium by eating fresh food instead of commercially canned products. 14. Use coarse kosher salt or sea salt or Himalayan salt instead of fine table salt for the added punch of flavor while minimizing the sodium content. 15. Utilize spices to add flavor to your food, thereby reducing the need for salt.